Some places on Earth don't look dangerous at all. No fire, no storms, no warning signs carved into the landscape. They sit quietly, doing nothing, until something living crosses a line it cannot see. These are not predators. They don't chase. They don't attack. They simply exist, shaped by chemistry, pressure, and physics that stopped caring whether life could survive them. In this video, we're counting down invisible kill zones that have been filmed, measured, and survived by only a few who knew exactly where to stop. Underwater brine waterfalls. Deep in the ocean, there are places where water appears to fall through water. No splash, no sound, just a silent spill into darkness. These are underwater brine waterfalls, and they are among the most lethal environments on Earth. They form thousands of meters below the surface, where ancient salt deposits buried beneath the seafloor dissolve and leak upward. This creates brine so saturated with salt that it becomes far heavier than normal seawater. Gravity pulls it downward, where it flows across the seabed and spills into basins like a submerged cliff. Submersible lights reveal a sharp, unsettling boundary. Clear water above, dark, oily liquid below. There is no mixing, no warning, just a line. When an animal crosses it, the effect is immediate. Fish lose control mid-swim. Gills flare, muscles seize, and bodies go limp within seconds. This is not drowning, it is osmotic shock. The extreme salt concentration pulls water from cells and collapses the body's ability to breathe. The animal isn't dragged down, it simply shuts off. Many brine waterfalls are even deadlier because they are infused with hydrogen sulfide, a toxic gas that blocks cellular respiration. Even with oxygen present, cells cannot use it. Some sites also contain methane and ammonia, turning these pools into chemical kill zones. ROV footage shows the aftermath. Fish piled along the edge, crabs frozen mid-step, eels half submerged where the brine touched them. These deaths form a boundary, marking a line life was never meant to cross. What makes it unsettling is the silence. No violence, no motion. Just chemistry doing the killing, patiently and perfectly, far below the surface where almost nothing escapes. Lake Nyos, Cameroon. Lake Nyos looks calm, almost ordinary. A small crater lake tucked into the hills of northwestern Cameroon. No waves, no warning. In 1986, it became one of the deadliest lakes on Earth without spilling a single drop. Deep beneath Lake Nyos, volcanic activity slowly pumped carbon dioxide into the water. Over time, the gas dissolved and built up under immense pressure, trapped by cold, dense layers at the bottom of the lake. For years, the lake held its breath. Then one night, it exhaled. A sudden disturbance, possibly a landslide or seismic tremor, caused the lake to overturn. In seconds, a massive cloud of carbon dioxide erupted from the water and poured over the surrounding land. The gas was invisible, odorless, and heavier than air. It hugged the ground, flowing into villages like a liquid. People never had time to react. Carbon dioxide displaces oxygen, and as the cloud spread, it silently shut down breathing. Entire families were found where they had fallen. Some appeared asleep. Others collapsed mid-step. Over 1,700 people and thousands of animals died within minutes. What made Lake Nyos especially terrifying was the silence. There was no explosion, no fire, no poison smell. Survivors woke hours later surrounded by stillness, with livestock, insects, and birds lying dead around them. Scientists later identified the event as a limnic eruption, a rare natural disaster where dissolved gas escapes all at once. Today, degassing pipes are installed in Lake Nyos to slowly release carbon dioxide and prevent another buildup. Lake Nyos remains a reminder that nature doesn't always attack with force. Sometimes it simply releases what it's been holding, and that quiet release can erase an entire village overnight. The Valley of Death, Kamchatka. In Russia's far east, inside the Kronotsky Nature Reserve, there is a narrow volcanic canyon with a name that sounds exaggerated. It isn't. Scattered across the valley floor, researchers have found the bodies of birds, foxes, bears, even large mammals. No wounds, no signs of struggle, just stillness, as if someone quietly pressed pause on life. The killer isn't visible. Hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide seep continuously from cracks in the earth. These gases are heavier than air, so they sink and pool along the valley floor like an invisible lake. From above, nothing looks unusual. Grass grows, the sky is clear, the ground appears ordinary. But step into the low-lying pockets and the air changes composition. Carbon dioxide displaces oxygen. Hydrogen sulfide interferes with cellular respiration and, in higher concentrations, can paralyze the respiratory system. Small animals succumb first. Birds drop mid-flight if they descend too low. Rodents collapse near burrows. Then the second act begins. Scavengers arrive to feed on the carcasses. Foxes, wolverines, occasionally bears. They lower their heads to eat and enter the same invisible layer. Some manage to retreat, others never leave. This creates a cycle. Bodies draw predators. Predators become bodies. A chain reaction powered not by teeth or venom, but by gas quietly rising from volcanic veins below. Seasonal shifts can change the danger. Wind disperses the gases. Cold air traps them. Some days the valley breathes lightly. On others, it holds its exhale close to the ground. There are no warning signs carved into the rock, no sound, no color change in the air, just a boundary measured in inches above the soil. Above it, life, below it, chemistry. Lake Natron, Tanzania. From a distance, Lake Natron looks unreal, like someone spilled rust across the desert floor. The water glows crimson in places, tinted by salt-loving microorganisms that thrive where almost nothing else can. Flamingos gather along its edges. The sky reflects cleanly on its surface. It appears calm, harmless. It is not. Lake Natron is one of the most alkaline bodies of water on Earth. Fed by mineral-rich hot springs and volcanic ash from nearby Oldoinyo Lengai, the lake accumulates sodium carbonate and other salts. Evaporation concentrates them further, pushing the pH to extreme levels, sometimes above 10 or even 12 in certain areas. Comparable to household ammonia. That chemistry changes everything. Animals that fall into the wrong part of the lake can suffer severe chemical burns to skin and eyes. The water can damage tissue rapidly, especially in smaller creatures. It does not need to pull them under. Contact is enough. Photographs from the shoreline show birds and bats preserved along the edges, coated in mineral deposits. The lake does not turn them to stone instantly, but over time, its highly alkaline water can calcify remains, creating haunting statue-like forms. And yet, life persists here in a narrow margin. Lesser flamingos breed on salt islands within the lake because predators avoid the caustic water. The same chemistry that makes natron deadly to many species creates a fortress for others. That is what makes it unsettling. There is no turbulence, no boiling surface, just a flat mirror of red water under an open sky. Step in the wrong place, and the boundary is not marked by waves, it is marked by chemistry. Mammoth Mountain CO2 Tree Kill Zone, California. At first glance, it looks like a scar in the forest. Tall pines stand grey and bare, clustered together like a silent audience. No wildfire passed through, no lightning strike split their trunks. The surrounding forest is alive and green. Only this patch is dead. The cause is not above ground, it is beneath it. Mammoth Mountain sits over an active volcanic system. Magma deep below releases carbon dioxide, which seeps upward through fractures in the earth. The gas doesn't explode outward. It rises slowly, invisibly, through the soil. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air. It settles low, filling pore spaces underground and hovering close to the forest floor. Tree roots, which depend on oxygen in the soil, begin to suffocate. Starved of breathable air, they die quietly. One by one, the trees follow. In some areas, CO2 concentrations in the soil have measured high enough to kill mature trees within days. The danger is not limited to plants. In the 1990s, ski patrollers fell into snow-covered depressions where carbon dioxide had pooled beneath the surface. Oxygen levels were dangerously low. Rescues were possible only because others acted quickly. In enclosed or low-lying pockets, the gas can displace enough oxygen to cause dizziness, unconsciousness, or worse. There is no odor to warn you, no visible haze, just air with the wrong ingredients. Scientists now monitor the area carefully. Warning signs mark certain zones. But the phenomenon continues, because the source remains active below. The mountain breathes, slowly and steadily, and in one quiet section of forest, that breath is enough to erase an entire stand of trees without flame, without noise, without a single visible wound. The Antarctic brineicles. Beneath the Antarctic sea ice, something grows upside down. It begins quietly. As seawater freezes, the forming ice pushes salt out. That salt concentrates into dense, supercooled brine trapped within channels in the ice above. Eventually, the brine finds an exit, and then it falls. The liquid is far colder and saltier than the surrounding seawater, so cold that it can plunge below the normal freezing point of the ocean without turning solid. When it spills downward, it forms a descending plume that freezes the water around it on contact. An ice tube begins to grow. Divers who have witnessed it call it a brinicle. It stretches toward the seafloor like a glass dagger, elongating as the frigid brine continues to flow through its hollow center. It does not rush. It does not churn. It advances with slow inevitability. When the brinicle reaches the bottom, the real boundary forms. The supercooled brine spreads outward along the seafloor in a creeping sheet. Anything slow enough to remain in its path faces instant thermal shock. Sea stars, sea urchins, brittle stars. They cannot flee quickly. As the brine touches them, ice crystals form around their bodies. Limbs stiffen. Movement stops. No predator lunges. No struggle echoes through the water. Just descending cold, sharp enough to sculpt the seafloor in frost. What makes brineicles unsettling is their elegance. They look delicate, architectural, almost beautiful under submersible lights. But inside that fragile column flows liquid cold enough to rewrite biology in seconds. Above it, the ice sheet gleams white and silent. Below it, a frozen waterfall builds itself downward, 1 quiet centimeter at a time. The Mariana Trench pressure wall. There is no rope in the water, no sign that says stop. The Pacific simply darkens. The Mariana Trench plunges nearly 11 kilometers down, deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Sunlight fades within the first few hundred meters. By 1 kilometer, the world is midnight. Keep descending, and something invisible begins to build. Pressure. Every 10 meters adds another atmosphere. By the time you reach the bottom, the weight of the ocean above presses with more than 1,000 times the pressure at sea level. Imagine a stack of SUVs balanced on every square inch of your body. That is the math. Humans are not designed for negotiation at those depths. Airspaces collapse first. Lungs compress. Sinuses squeeze. Without specialized equipment, the body cannot equalize fast enough. Blood chemistry destabilizes. Nitrogen behaves unpredictably under extreme pressure. Even submersibles must be engineered like armored vaults to survive. It is not poison, it is not heat, it is not cold. It is simply too much ocean. At extreme depths, water itself becomes slightly compressible. Materials flex. Metal groans. Acrylic viewports bow inward. The boundary is not visible, but every meter downward tightens it. And yet, life exists there. Amphipods, snailfish, creatures built without air-filled cavities, evolved to endure a world where gravity is amplified by water above. For us, however, the trench is a vertical wall without bricks. Cross it unprotected, and the ocean does not attack.